I want to get into the new realm of where you're at and what you do. But before, this is crucial because right now everybody's kind of getting attached and they're saying it makes sense why she's so passionate about helping others. But let's go back to that moment when you were the rock star imposter, because I think a lot of people now are saying I'm a rock star imposter, or like one of my favorite, because I think a lot of people are recognizing, very good at hiding the fact that they're living a mediocre life.
Yeah.
My favorite quote is, if you continue to lick the lollipop of mediocrity, you will suck forever. Nobody wants to suck forever.
I love that.
So explain to the listeners, you did a great job of this yesterday, what happened when you met your friend that was all of a sudden extraordinarily happy and you were not.
Yes.
And how this message came.
When I was a pharmaceutical rep, just before my blessed breakdown, so I had 2 years of depression, anxiety, panic disorder, being bullied as an adult. My last 2 years of corporate were basically that. I was in a holding pattern. I was in survival mode. And that was like, essentially at my rock bottom, I said, I can't live like this anymore. Give me a way out that's not drugs, that's not therapy. No disrespect to anybody that's using those modalities. They weren't options for me. I asked for another way. And that's when I was divinely downloaded with the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset. So 2 years before that, so I was basically bullied for 2 years, and I went into a dark place. Corporately and socially, I was being bullied. But 2 years before that, I'd gone to a party, and my friend who I used to job share with at my last pharma company, she had left the industry to become a life coach. I didn't even know there was such a profession called a life coach. I went to her house, a bunch of ladies having martinis. I'm looking at my friend who I haven't seen for a year. And I said, "Oh my God, you look amazing. What have you done?" This woman and I used to be the same. We were these aggressive pharmaceutical reps, getting the numbers so we can win the trip. It was all about go, go, go and numbers, numbers, numbers. And we were basically men, and I remember she looked different when I knew her back then. Her face was square and she had like a furrow in her eyes, or in her between her eyes. And all of a sudden now, I haven't seen her for a year. She looks glorious. She looks like a goddess. I'm like, "Angela, what have you done?" And she said, "Oh, Elvira, in the past year, I've become a life coach." And I'm like, "What the hell's a life coach?" And she said, "Well, I help people go from where they are to where they want to be and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "You can get paid for that?" Like, I could not believe that was actually a profession, because I'm a kind-hearted person. I've been helping people my whole life. To think I could get paid for that was like kind of a miracle. So here's what I said.
Wait, I got another sound effect for you.
Sure. Okay. I love that. Oh my God, JC, you're the best. So basically right after she told me what she did, I said it in my head. I put it out to the universe. I said, "I don't know what the hell Angela did, but one day I'm doing it too." And that was it. I dropped it. That same night, I got a prediction from a woman who was psychic.
So you didn't even know what you were going to do.
No, I just saw how happy she was. And I knew I could do it too, because when she told me what she did and I saw the alignment in her, there's that beautiful word, alignment. And I just said, I want some of that, because I was living so out of alignment. I looked like a rock star. I was the highest paid rep in the company. I was the most coddled. I was had the biggest car. Like my ego was like massive. Okay. I was run by my ego. And that's what happens, guys. When we are not living in alignment, we are run by our ego. And our ego takes over, and we need to constantly have approval from others and things and opportunities so that we can validate our existence. That's what happens when we live out of alignment, right? So I'm here to say that I had to go through all of that to transform, to show others how to do it as well. Because if I could do it with my mental health, genes, I think I shared my dad had a mental breakdown when he was bullied in his 50s, and he could never come back. And he had to go on meds for the rest of his life. My dad died with depression, anxiety, panic disorder, on meds to sleep at night. And his liver was huge, and he had cancer. So he's just an example of what can happen to a man when he lives out of alignment. Well, it can happen to any of us, but it happened to him. I got to witness that. And I was an example of, okay, we're going to break that pattern in our family heritage. I'm going to have the courage to go for my dreams. My kiddo is going to have the courage to go for his dreams because I'm breaking that pattern. And so that's what I did. And I became a jazz singer at 51. I'm 59 this year. Okay. I don't work a day in my life because I live in alignment. Right. So going back to that story of seeing what was possible, that same night, I had a prediction from a woman who was psychic, told me she didn't want to be psychic, but she saw something she had to tell me. And she told me that I was a world-class healer on a global level. Well, here's the cool thing. I'm now a sound healer. I'm a jazz singer turned sound healer. My healing audios are on my membership site for the Love Your Vibe transformation. And so I am helping people to heal around the world. I've brought a bunch of beautiful light workers together who also share their own story, their own message, their own magic to help the world. And together we're flying in this formation. So I was told that night that I was meant to be a world-class healer. And the next week I went into work. My boss is gone mysteriously. I have no idea. This is the guy that coddled me. This is the guy that poached me from my last company.
The universe erased him.
Totally, exactly. Because I was meant to leave. The universe heard me say, I'm going to leave. And it brought it to me. Not in the most pleasant way. I competed for his job with a male colleague who was actually my work spouse. Super nice guy. We're actually friends now. But basically, there was a misunderstanding. He wanted the job. I wanted the job. There was a misunderstanding. Instead of fixing the misunderstanding, he took me down. My reputation got ruined in the company. I went from being up here to a piece of dirt. I couldn't believe that I was being treated that way. Because I had a kick me sign on my back, JC, I attracted another bully into my life. I used to be a professional cheerleader back in the day, and the queen bee in this group decided I didn't belong anymore. Well, guess what? She read that sign that I'm kickable. It said kick me. So she kicked me too. This is what happens. We inadvertently walk around with kick me signs on our back when we are victims. And when we decide to rip them off, we can become victors. Okay. So this is what had to happen to me. I would go through every moment of my depression, anxiety, and panic disorder and being bullied as an adult from those two people, because those two people were my angels of evolution. They forced me to evolve. They forced me to become who I truly am today.